Ladies and
messieurs,
welcome to the greatest show on earth.
Bienvenue, ahlan wa sahlan.
Welcome to the Circus of Words. For the fourth year, we are pleased and proud to bring you an evening of performers who push the boundaries of language and incorporate other art forms into their performances.
Bonsoir et bienvenue à cette 4e édition du Cirque des mots. Encore une fois, nous sommes fiers de vous offrir un spectacle éblouissant, un événement unique et original à Montréal.
Tonight's performance features artists who merge poetry and video, text and movement, poetry and music, in English,
en français
and Arabic.
La poésie est une forme qui peut se jumeler facilement avec d'autres arts pour donner naissance à une sorte de folie créative et inédite. Un cirque, quoi. Les artistes que vous allez donc entendre ce soir, soit en anglais, en français ou en arabe, sont des jongleurs de vers, de musique, d'expression corporelle et du théâtre.
We would like to draw your attention to our book table, where our books and CDs of tonight's performers are available for purchase. Don't be shy about buying them. The artists will be glad to autograph them during intermission and after the show. We also ask you to please do your drink buying between acts and intermission.
Nous vous demandons de, s'il vous plaît, acheter vos consommations entre les numéros ou à l'entracte et bien sûr d'éteindre vos téléphones cellulaires et pagettes. Pause.
Before we launch into this evening's performance, we'd like to draw your attention to an issue that has been front and center in the hearts and minds of Quebecers this year. No, not the Montreal Canadiens. But reasonable accommodation. The nasty little game dreamed up by politicians who, for political gain, have tried to create tensions between the many diverse cultural and ethnic peoples who inhabit this land. It reminds us of a circus. And as ringmasters whose 3 previous circuses have been produced in a true mosaic, multilingual, multicultural, and multimedia style, we feel we are qualified to put in our $1.02 worth. Therefore, for the record, we like it to be noted that we do not support reasonable accommodations. We advocate reasonable accommodations. And here is our list of demands.
We demand a Hasidic smoking section in the women's only exercise room at the Young Men's Christian Association.
We demand a mosque in the Hérouville Hockey Arena's penalty box to allow all present and future Muslim Canadian hockey players to pray for forgiveness for their misconduct.
We demand that Anglophone MNAs learn to play Mon pays, ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver backwards on the spoons.
We demand that all Pure Lanes prove it, especially Mario Dumont.
We demand that all Francophone MNAs, especially Mario Dumont, wear a kilt at the St. Paddy's Day parade.
We demand that snow be canceled next year.
You don't like that. We demand that all snow jobs be canceled next year, especially Mario Dumont's.
We demand that the captain of the Montreal Canadiens be able to speak cliché-free, 101%, and pass the puck in French, asti.
We demand that all men be from Venus.
We demand that all women be from Chibougamau. I like the sound of that word, women.
We demand that First Nations people be in charge of immigration.
We demand that art be an integral part of every meal.
We demand that the Circus of Words begin. Mesdames et messieurs, laissez-vous séduire par
The Circus of Words. Tom Konyves is not your ordinary poet. Tom's achievements are minimally many. And he wrote about accommodation in Seesaw, one of his earliest video poems created here in Montreal in 1978. We would like to introduce him through an excerpt from that piece.
French schools.
English schools.
French in English schools.
English and French schools.
School French schools in English.
School English schools in French.
School English school children in French schools.
School French school children in English schools.
School French children in French schools.
School immigrant school children in French.
School immigrant school children in English schools.
Children of immigrant school children schooled in French schools.
Or English schools.
School the famous children of immigrant school children in French schools.
School children of immigrant school children and the ways to make them vote for French schools for English school children.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Konyves.
Correction, Konyves. Thank you. It's great to be back in Montreal. This is my hometown. And I'd like to thank the organizers for having the foresight to schedule this event in between Game 4 and Game 5. Tonight I'd like to show you 4 video poems. First 2 were made in Montreal, and the last 2 were made in Vancouver, which is where I live now. But before then, a few words about video poetry. When I first began to experiment with the form, I just wanted to see poetry go where poetry has not gone before. But I also wanted to take poetry where it had not been taken before. Out of words, images, and sounds, I wanted to create a new poetic experience. I'll let that sink in for a second. In the process, I discovered the power of text over image, and that the poetry in video poetry was not only in the text, or on the soundtrack, or in the images, but it was in the measured, deliberate combination of these elements. The first video poem is called Quebec Cause. It's almost 30 years old. And it joins the words Quebec and because, or Quebec and cause. They both work. It's a happy, playful work. It was shot at Beaver Lake atop Mount Royal. Tongue-in-cheek it may be, but I still see it as a celebration of identity at a time when all our identities, individual and linguistic, were being seriously questioned. The video poem is a not-so-serious comment on the debate. The next one, called And Once They Have Tasted Freedom, represents a more conceptual approach to the form. The view of 3 sailboats off St. Helens Island provides the backdrop for some wild handwritten text, and the soundtrack, in case you're wondering, or you will wonder, is from a relaxation session in French. The third video, made in Vancouver, called Sign Language, is literally a found poem. In this case, a found video poem. The imagery of graffiti and other signs around Vancouver is set to a haunting John Luria tune, appropriately called You Haunt Me. John Luria was the leader of the West Coast band, the Lounge Lizards. Finally, a new work whose premiere is tonight for you. But I'm reluctant to talk about it. You know how you feel very close to something that was done just recently. There's an emotional attachment. And its final form was a mystery even to me at the end. But now, let the video poems begin.
Assieds-toi dans une chaise où tu peux te reposer sur le plancher ou dans ton lit, sur le dos. Remarque ta respiration, la sensation de l'air quand tu inspires et la différence dans tes narines quand tu expires. Prends contact avec ton dos, tes fesses, tes pieds. La main droite, ferme ta main droite. Juste ferme. Pas trop fort. Avec un petit peu de la tension, pas beaucoup. Remarque les sensations dans ta main. Et fais attention qu'il n'y a pas de la tension à part de ta main fermée. Tout le reste de ton corps complètement détendu. La respiration régulière. Calme. Ta main droite. Toujours avec un petit peu de la tension. Ta main fermée. Doucement, lentement, relaxe ta main. Remarque la différence entre la tension et la relaxation. Maintenant, la main gauche, la même chose. Ferme la main gauche. Ferme-la. Et toujours, te garde tout le reste de ton corps complètement détendu. Tu respires doucement, lentement. Remarque la sensation de tes doigts. La paume. La main gauche toujours fermée. La main droite détendue, tes pieds, tes lèvres. Et maintenant, laissez aller toute la tension dans la main gauche. Relax. Complètement. Les sensations dans ta main deviennent claires dans ton esprit, dans ta tête. Puis toujours, quand tu expires, tu laisses aller toute la tension qui reste dans tes mains, les deux mains, comme un signal. Relax. Que tu envoies à tes mains. Maintenant, avec les deux mains doucement, sans lever tes bras. Écartez les doigts. Écarte les doigts. Écarte les doigts. Pas trop fort. Avec un effort doux. Les yeux fermés toujours. Relax.
God bless technology, or dog curse technology. And I have to apologize for a lot of things, including mispronouncing Tom's name. I've only known him 35 years, so I know him by his Hungarian name, not his English name. Konyves. Konyves. Yes. Okay. You dance through the dance, you dance.
Vicky, Tansey, and Richard Sommer have been collaborating for many years in all sorts of ways.
You dance through the dance.
Vicky Tansey has been a leading improvisational dancer and more recently a painter. Richard Sommer has published 5 books of poetry, and for the last few years, along with Vicky, Tansey has been a staunch defender of Mount Pinnacle in the Eastern Townships against developers. Dancer, painter, poet, musician are joined tonight by cellist Philippe Mius d'Entremont and Émilie Girard.
Once upon a time, a girl with opaque eyes sat in a room in the middle of winter, drinking tea. And while the girl with opaque eyes sat in a room in the middle of winter, drinking tea, snow whirled against the glass. And while snow whirled against the glass in a room in the middle of winter, a girl with opaque eyes sat drinking her tea. And while the girl with opaque eyes sat drinking her tea in the middle of winter, snow whirled against the glass. And while she drank her tea in the middle of winter, snow whirled against glass in the room she sat in, with opaque eyes, drinking her tea. The girl with opaque eyes whirled snow in the middle of winter against the glass and sat drinking her tea in the middle of winter, while snow whirled against her opaque eyes in a room of glass in the middle of winter. Not a word this morning. Not a word that could draw me into a point. Not a word for a flock of finches, shape-changing in the sky. Not a word of them before settling to feed. Not a word for chickadee conversations, nor for the drift and fall of single snowflakes through the dazzle of sunlight here. Nor even for the breath of me uttered to this colder air. Nobody owns the breath they breathe. It comes and goes and comes again in supple accord with need. In the beginning, anyway. And as for wordlessness, I say the more things I don't have words for, the more poems I'll find to hold them. At this indiscretion, I sigh, and there's my breath again. She was just stepping barefoot into a brook when the eye of the dream caught and held her there, stepping into the brook. Not exactly forever, but for the eyes forever. As long as the neurons can hold her in their circuits, as long perhaps as photo paper lasts. Beyond that, as long as memory of the wonder lasts, seeing that moment, her bare foot stepping into a brook, seeing it would not stay the same, seeing nothing does, seeing her just stepping barefoot into a brook when the eye of the dream catches and holds her stepping into the brook. Not exactly forever, but for the eyes forever. As long as the neurons can hold her in their circuits, as long perhaps as photo paper lasts. Beyond that, as long as memory of the wonder lasts, seeing that moment, her bare foot stepping into a brook, seeing it would not stay the same, seeing nothing does, seeing her just stepping barefoot into a brook, when the eye of the dream catches and holds her stepping into the brook. Beyond that, as long as memory of the wonder lasts, seeing that moment, her bare foot stepping into a brook, seeing it would not stay the same, seeing nothing does, seeing her just stepping barefoot into a brook, when the eye of the dream catches and holds her stepping. So easy to waste, slide by, lose. What slides by this human window, while human window slides by too. Now, right now, right now, right then. Where were you? Where was I? Where we are by the time we ask that now is elsewhere. Try again. Ask again. The answer now already elsewhere. Then where's the answer? More elsewhere than the question. So where then is this question? Somewhere else. Not here. Then where? There is nowhere but here. No elsewhere. Then where is here? Here. Here. By the time you say that, here is there. And there is nowhere. Then when is now? Now is when I say now. Now. Now is when you hear me say. But now is then. Sound takes time to travel. Well, you have your now, I have mine. Then where have we spoken together? Right here. A little while ago, remember? Who spoke? Who still knows? Who am I? Who are you? Who were they who spoke?
With improvisations, you really don't have a lot of control. Okay, This is a poem I'm going to ask for your participation in. You're going to have to be very disciplined. I'm going to conduct you. I'm going to ask you first, before you do anything, what you're going to be doing is giving words. Randomly, anybody can contribute a word into the collective pool of words. And just keep it going until I go that way, which means absolute stop. And the rest, you can just take in, okay? And I think by the looks of the crowd that are here tonight, and I saw you pouring out of the buses, you're the crowd that's going to do this full-heartedly. So, okay. So I will begin the conducting in just a second, so I know what the heck I'm doing. All right. Are you ready?
Platypus.
Crocodile, dinosaure,
Restaurant. Autobus.
blender, aspirine, vêtements,
Emo.
à l'envers, maintenant, demain, éventuellement. Pourquoi pas?
This is chaotic.
Oui. Allons-y,
We're having fun.
à l'endroit. Oui, plus fort.
Cucumber.
Allez,
Cucumber.
Words
mais
upon words
défaut.
upon words.
Toujours.
What is this we do? Words
Soulier,
for words,
Scandale.
for things,
maillot,
and even thing is a word.
éventuellement.
In a dream, in a swamp, in mud that sucks off a boot, faster than you can relent and stop pulling. You let yourself be sucked down by the foot and returned to a point of green dreaming. Is this a metaphor? And if it is, for what? And what for? All seems at 1 or 2 or 3 removes from what? Perhaps awakening. Words are thick enough. Don't get sucked into whatever lies beyond them. Stick to the lies of words.
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 Word.
Just start to mumble. Start to mumble. Start to talk nonsense. Talk to everybody. You know how to do that. Thank you. We have one more.
Sound of it everywhere. The planetary bustle of rotation. And now, you know, you change too. Go here, go there, for something to put your faith in. More needed to be true than air. This morning's stillness falling after wind, on you as bright light everywhere, warmth returning, and yet in all of this you see here only, sadly, a dance of lonely molecules in the air, flakes in the wind. You are everywhere, and you are one of them in yearning. But nothing you do or not seems to change anything. Too late. Of themselves, things change.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank God for humans.
What?
Thank God or dog for humans?
Okay, whatever.
Thanks. Noah Zacharine has been called many things.
A human?
That too.
One of the best songwriters this country has produced.
An adventurous guitarist.
A wonderful songwriter and performer who possesses
The heart of a poet.
the mind of a lyricist,
The skill of a composer.
the fingers of a musician.
From Toronto, please welcome Noah Zacharine.
I'm actually from Montreal. I've been living in Toronto for a few years. It's always good to be back here. And it makes me so sad that I left, but I did. So thanks to Endre and Carolyn for the invitation. It's kind of a song about the whole thing. It's called In Love Again. The stars up above, they are no one else's stars. They watch us making love, and the birds will sing when it's morning again, and they think that we're in love again. Know the way the pale heart sings so mournfully till suddenly it finds its wings and flies from branch to branch to celebrate a second chance and thinks that we're in love again. What a little mystery you become. Your canvas is a dozen shades of blue. Where, sweet mystery, did you come from? Where do you go when you slip from you? this cool night. Come lie with me, where shadow and moonlight weave in harmony. And remember back when it was all before remembering, and think that we're in love again. And don't you think that we're in love again? Thank you. Thank you. So it's kind of odd to feel like the most conventional performer on the bill. It's okay. It's cool. My mom would appreciate that. Here's a song about a friend of mine. This is about a friend called Tom. Thank you. I know. Well, you know, I got a friend. His name is Tom. His granddaddy's name was Jesse. Now Jesse is gone like yesterday's song. It taught Tom that each day is a blessing. My friend Tom, tomorrow he'd a man. You got pain, you got sickness or sorrow, he'll be there as quick as he can. Now his dad is Todd, it's Todd Alexander. For short they call him Toddy. He can seem a scary guy with thick wrists and a voice of thunder. When the air walks in, the sigh runs away. My friend tomorrow he'd a man. You got pain, you got sickness or sorrow, he'll be there as quick as he can. Now his mom is Hope. She had but a single child. She lays all her daffodil wishes on him. Good thing he wakes each day shining a brand new face. Well, that's my boy, she beams as the light streams in. My friend tomorrow he'd a man. You got pain, you got sickness or sorrow, he'll be there as quick as he can. There's a tingle in the east. Oh, hail, ye resilient beast. You're not a fool for grinning. You might ache between the eyes. You might slip, don't be surprised. It's not just your head that's spinning. My friend tomorrow he'd a man. You got pain, you got sickness or sorrow, he'll be there as quick as he can. 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 Thank you. These are glasses. It's what we call in the theater profession a prop. Yeah. It's only to make me look like I need them to read. This is a literary event, and I do feel somewhat obliged. So send this out to you. This is also about relationships, of course. Most things are. This is a poem about my relationship with my art. It's called "What Did You Do With It?" Buried it in the sand, placed it in the back of my mouth to savor the slow, bitter taste, plunged it into the heart again, waved it in capitulation in the bluest sky I could find, circled it, pawing the dust with rage in my eyes, left it by the road to find its own way back, applied cruel epithets to its thin skin, kept it a dirty secret, neglected to clean it out from under my nails, counted it as one of my best assets, repeatedly asked it why, coated it in a thick paste of mud and feces, demanded it choose between drowning and burning, separated it from its allies, danced around it while uttering strings of meaningless syllables one moonless night, worried about its fate, visited time and again, carved it into the shapes I most admire, mistook it for magic, brought it in, shoved up my rectum, provided it with false papers and put it without ceremony on an old freighter, sewed wings on it and walked it to the edge, followed it closely with my nostrils flaring hot for its nutmeg smell, drained it pale, rubbed it whenever the loneliness threatened to overwhelm, taught it the harmony part, tossed it hard enough to throw it back into the past, put it on and felt myself possessed by something nearly demonic in power, tried electric current, piranha, ammonia, pinned it to the wall and watched the light go from its eyes, rendered it into a thimbleful of fat, drank it down without blinking, made it what it is today, turned it into words, washed my hands clean of it, cried over the failure of its filigree, watched it melt into the dirt. Thank you. Thanks. looking for a little girl named Diamond in the Rough. Some little thing who thinks that sugar ain't enough. She takes a spoonful of salt with her bread, calls me on over to polish off her edge. Oh, where can she be? And when will she come to me? I'm looking for a little girl named Give Me Champagne, but she's satisfied to sate her thirst on a little bit of rain, and she don't need a dozen Sims. That girl just needs to wet her limbs. Oh, where can she be? And when will she come to me? She walks. I don't care what talk she talks, as long as she lets me know. When I'm named boyfriend, I said boyfriend on her blog. Now I'm looking for a little girl named Angel in the Snow, 'cause she shivers when she's bad, when she's shining down below, and that heavenly music begins, when she spreads her heavenly wings. Oh, where can she be? And when will she come to me? I'm looking for a little girl, you know, the convertible kind, 'cause she puts the top down, make it summer anytime. You feel a cool breeze go by, we're speeding up to cross over state lines. Oh, where can she be? When will she come to me?
Before we take a 10-minute break, to show our true circus colors and to celebrate the spirit of Montreal, and to show that poetry and hockey not only goes together like bagels and cream cheese, but it rhymes as well, I would like to invite the poet laureate of the Montreal Canadiens to read his Ode to the Habs and Hab Nuts.
An ode to the Habs and the Hab Nuts. Just when spring is about to spring, just when the birds are about to sing, just when the snow is almost spent, just when the potholes the axles bend, just when the crocuses begin to grow, just when all the dog poop show, a strange sight long time no see, on the streets of Montreal, Hostie smiles for miles and miles. The Habs are hot, the Bruins are not. They skate like the gods of the Winged Heels, driven by the fans' fanatical cheers, wearing the jerseys of Les Glorieux, making Montrealers très heureux. On thin ice, these boys in short pants glide and crunch and pinpoint past the puck, while the lumbering Bruins ask, what the heck is going on? Start with the goalie. The price is right. Amended Brisebois checking. What a sight. A crunching commissaric planting Bruins into the boards. And the brothers Kotsitsins potting pucks by the scores. And there is an AK-27 who, with each move, mows down the opposition and sends the fans into heaven. Da, da. And we got a Newfie rider and a bangin' Beijing and a little Plekanits down the center. But it's not the size that matters. Just ask Captain Konyves. He'll tell you in French and in cliches. They're going all the way to 110% finish. Blessed be these boys of winter, managed by All Smiles Gainey. Blessed be these immigrants on ice, coached by Carbo and his posse. Flying blokes and flying Yankees, flying Greeks and flying Ruskies, flying Swiss and flying Frenchies. Blessed be we true fans who can accommodate, praise, and worship, and loudly cheer what is best in us. Go, Habs, go! Welcome back to the greatest show on earth. Okay, before we start the second half, I'd just like to say that maybe the technical gods are smiling upon us, and after the last piece in the second half, we're going to show that 3-minute video of Beware of Dog. And those of you who can stay, certainly welcome to it, okay? So, originally from Lebanon, where I hear that words have the scent of roses, the wind in the cypress remembers, and whose walls have wept colors, comes John Asfour, author of 5 books of poetry and a translator of the landmark anthology When Words Burn. Tonight, John plays the traditional lute, while his poems are delivered in Arabic by Bassem Hassan and in English by Carolyn Marie Souaid, whose latest book of poetry is Satie's Sad Piano. Ladies and gentlemen, John Asfour.
بلا موسيقى والريح تهب فوق البيوت الأطفال في سانت ماري يذهبون للنوم جائعين. لا أحد يجمع النفايات أو يهتم بالحدائق أبدا. في مكان ما الجردان تمارس الصلاة الليلية، وأعضاء الهيئة الطبية ما زالوا مصممين على الإضراب. الأطباء يطالبون بزيادة 30% من الراتب. جريمة ترتكب في شارع الروزمون. الشرطة تحقق. الملك سينروسوف يزور الجمهورية المجاورة. الجيران جميعا قد أطفأوا الأضواء الآن. النساء الكاثوليكيات يجب أن يتوقفن عن تناول حبوب منع الحمل. البابا يوافق على النشوة الجنسية بين المتزوجين فقط، وهو يوافق الملك على أن الشيوعية والاشتراكية قد ماتتا. مع هذا نحن ماضون في مشروع القنبلة النيترونية. طفلنا ينام على ساعدي. لا تصدقي كل ما في تقوله الصحف. القصص يمكن أن تروى دون مبرر على الإطلاق. بعد أن انتهى من شرب الشاي سوف نتبادل قبلة عم مساء وننام كالعادة. يجب أن لا تقرأي في الليل، ذلك مضر بالعيون. توقف كلبا عن النباح في القبو. لقد تفقدت غرفة التدفئة. كل شيء على ما يرام. تعالي أريحي رأسك على وسادتي. فيما النوم ينسل إلى عينيك. العالم يتهاوى شيئا فشيئا من يوم لآخر، ونحن نحيا حياتنا بين الكتب والملاحظات الغربية. الجرائم والحروب في الصحف اليومية تزعجنا طبعا، لكن غدا سنتابع حياتنا كالعادة. نعد العشاء. أفتح زجاجة الخمر باكرا. مقرف أليس كذلك؟ هذا القط المحيط بنا من كل جهة. يوما ما لن يكون هنا لنروي القصة، لكن ما الذي سينبعث من جديد ويمضى قدما ويتكاثر.
Night after night, Aunt Mary cooks vine leaves, has never been known to dance with them in her hair. After supper, the children must all be bathed in a cement basin. And she must be pregnant. News for all the women in the neighborhood who'll gather to watch a difficult birth. She cries to heaven at each birth or missed period, yet obeys the priest. Good to her husband, Aunt Mary is, good to the neighbors, with a recipe for all home remedies. But time, always a spare plate and a kind word at her table, and for roving cats, an auberge under the stove. Aunt Mary spreads her affections like an endless wash along a line, and she knits her sweaters and mends her children's clothes, while night after night the farmers over the hill latch their doors, light their kerosene lamps, and eat a solemn supper next to the wood stove.
ليلة بعد ليلة العم ماري تسلق ورق العنب، لم يعرف أحد إنها تزين شعرها به. وهي ترقص بعد العشاء يجب أن يستحم الأطفال كلهم في حوض من الإسمنت، ومن المؤكد إنها حبلى. خبر مثير لجميع النساء في البيوت المجاورة اللاتي سيجتمعن ليشهدن ولادة عسيرة، إنها تبكي متوسلة إلى السماء عند كل ولادة أو عند تأخر الدورة الشهرية، لكنها تطيع الكاهن مريحة لزوجها العم ماري، طيبة مع جيرانها، تملك وصفة علاج لكل التوعكات المألوفة، لكن ليس لعلاج الزمان. عندها دائما صحن طعام فائض وكلمة طيبة على مائدتها. وللقطط الجوالة تمت مأوى تحت المدفأة. العم ماري تنشر حنانها مثل الغسيل لا ينتهي على حبل طويل، تحوك كنزاتها وترتق ثياب أطفالها، بينما المزارعون فوق الهضبة ليلة بعد أخرى ويوصدون بالمزاليج أبوابهم ويشعلون قناديل الكاز ويتعشون بهدوء قرب المدفأة.
Innocent pursuits. Sometimes he saw nothing in Aitanit but a blackbird preening its wings on a utility pole. And what's this love of a town that sleeps and wakes to the pecking of birds? He'd no time to be timid or moral, yet the plum tree before his house never forgot to blossom on time. He followed the girls from one end of Aitanit to the next. Generally, they ran away. Girls his own age changed overnight, began to wear dresses and be mindful of their hair. And what use to play with those respecters of fences? He and a few boys reigned in the alleys, chasing mating cats and looking in windows for bathing women, watching the older girls hang clothes out on the line while water trickled down their blouses. They raided barns and stole eggs to exchange the next day for ice cream, chuckling about a farmer so close-fisted that he pocketed the blessing in church so as not to pass it on, and about his wife who sent marauding roosters from her kitchen with tail feathers through their combs. Nights, they'd slip out of bed for a rendezvous under old Mansour's open windows to interrupt his snoring with imitations or the application of cold water. Later, creep back to see if his ardor had also been awakened. In their hilarious courts, they'd pass judgment on every adult in town, on the schoolmaster in his one presentable jacket who thoughtfully picked his nose and entered the classroom by the window, on the black-browed priest who stood them against the wall one-legged the whole afternoon for slips in catechism, but was a pushover in the confessional, and on beautiful Miriam, huge-breasted Miriam, alone in her house at the edge of town, entertaining a few men, not all at once, in the evening. They'd offered to help her pick olives, but remained on the ground while she tugged at her skirts in the treetops. During the week, they rested their consciences up for Sunday when they'd have to file a report on their sins. But what meant a mea culpa to them if lambs and kids were on parade and the plum trees staged a spectacular show each spring? The girls kept him busy. They skimmed over the snow in winter and laughed with their friends behind trees. In summer, playing their own incomprehensible games, tossing their useless hair. And he wrote verses, offering them to the snow.
عند الغروب يتوقف قليلا وسط الباحة الخلفية. شجرة التفاح تستند على السياج، ببطء تتعافى بجيراتها وضماداتها. تمت صدعا في جدار المنزل وآخر في خشب الشرفة أكبر من قدرة مطرقته. هو لا يستطيع تجديد بلد نصف مدمر، قارة ملاصقة للبحر، مدينة تنام على جرائمها. بالرغم من هذا هو يقلم أوراق الشجر بينما زوجته تربط شجيرات الورد. الخريف مبكر هذا العام. الأعشاب الضارة في الباحة قد ماتت، وبعض النباتات الفصلية ما تزال حية. السياج مقلم، العشب مجزوز، ونوافذ العاصفة كلها في مكانها. أقفل الأطفال باب المطبخ. الغروب يعثر عليهم وسط الباحة. لم يبقى هناك شيئا للعمل. هذا النهار قد انتهى تقريبا. Raking leaves. 4 huge bags, and I am not done. There's more behind the shed and some between the logs near the fence. Rummaging among my impulses, I stay away from the tree so I will be less tempted to throw things at it or give it a shake and bring down the few remaining leaves. But instead I open a new bag and press in more broken twigs and more foliage
adding more scratches to my bare hands. The full fall orange colors elude me, and the dying light evens out what I do not see. I console myself that in not using the work gloves, I am more at liberty to feel for and find where the dead leaves are conscious that they will be supplanted in the spring. If this was my birth country, I would write words like, I am the man who has not been killed yet at war by earthquake or street accident, as Magut did. I would write, enough, enough. I beg you to stop the game of death and allow myself to mix red wine with vodka to lessen the pain as he did. Except in such a place, I would be in a tobacco field, moving gingerly, feeling for cluster bombs left behind from the recent war, collecting and detonating them before another child is bound to harvest one of them for a toy. Deux fois le prix du gouverneur général.
Le prix Athanase David.
L'Académie des lettres du Québec.
2 fois le Grand Prix du Festival international de la poésie de Trois-Rivières.
Le prix W.O. Mitchell.
Le Grand Prix Molson du Conseil des arts du Canada.
Voici maintenant, en lice pour la Griffin Poetry Prize 2008, l'auteur d'une trentaine de livres, poète, romancière et essayiste Nicole Brossard, en campagne de Philippe Mius d'Entremont.
Pour toutes les passions au présent, parfois une promenade. Nous plongions dans le paysage avec des phrases, des pensées au pouvoir de parfum et de paradoxe. Parfois la poussière, on la disait de Pékin, de Palmyre ou de Pompéi, nous la partagions à plein poumon. On parlait de physiquement posséder la poésie. Depuis ce matin, je suis dans ma mémoire comme dans un théâtre. J'ouvre et je tire les rideaux. J'ai appris le texte par cœur. Je n'ai pas eu encore le temps de penser à mon maquillage. Quand les cloches n'arrêtent pas de sonner comme des folles, elles rendent mon texte inaudible, illisible. Alors je préfère que quelqu'un joue du piano dans mon dos. Comme ça, je peux cacher mes sentiments. Je ne fais jamais semblant d'être quelqu'un qui a des blessures, comme mon frère, quand il me montre son cahier de croquis. Mon frère, je ne sais pas pourquoi, il est parti en ville avec des fruits dans la poche de son veston. Pourquoi il a mis des croquis avec mon nom et celui de June, des croquis comme ceux qu'il m'a montrés le jour de mon anniversaire, et c'était effrayant. J'ai des secrets, c'est normal. C'est vrai pour moi comme pour les autres. Quand je traverse en courant mes propres secrets, on dirait que je respire mieux. Je prends soin de crier des syllabes mystérieuses qui font parfois une liste de beaux fruits et de légumes que je mets dans la poche de mon veston. Puis, je plonge ma main dans la liste. C'est facile de suivre avec mon doigt pour comprendre et mieux tracer des clôtures. À la fin, c'est vrai, je suis au bord des larmes. Personne ne peut se souvenir de tout, exactement de tout. C'est pourquoi mes armoires sont vides, sauf quand sur la pointe des pieds, j'y glisse une enveloppe blanche. Ce n'est pas un secret pour personne. Je glisse des mots dans mes minuscules armoires et depuis toujours, je n'ose pas les détruire, même si elles prennent trop de place à côté des carafes de cristal. J'attends. Je guette mon visage qui veut encore plus de lumière dans les trous de la nuit de ma mère. Je ne peux pas toujours faire semblant que cela se passe en moi, vraiment. Car je suis moi, et beaucoup d'autres en même temps, c'est effrayant. Je vais souvent à l'hôtel pour devenir quelqu'un qui dort allongé avec une femme dans une grande chambre avec des fleurs et un canapé en cuir noir. Je bois du vin blanc, puis je me mets au travail en écoutant les bruits et les silences de mes semblables. C'est facile et ça me donne envie de glisser ma joie dans un trou noir. Quand je ne sais pas quoi faire de ma fourrure, j'essaie de me souvenir de mes plaisirs. Mais les choses du passé sont parures et clôtures trop hautes. Avec leurs barreaux, elles me font honte. On dirait un rideau de clous lisses qui font toutes sortes de grandes égratignures, qui font un écran gris devant moi. Je préfère les chambres d'hôtel aux bancs de bois déjà entaillés et meurtris de mots grossiers, comme ceux sur lesquels je dors parfois en été. Je peux passer des jours sans parler à personne. Je me dis souvent, j'ai tout compris. Pas du tout. Mais qu'est-ce que j'ai tout compris pour faire si bien semblant qu'il faut tout comprendre? Je n'existe pas pour rien. Mon cahier de croquis en est la preuve. Et je ne pleure jamais. Sauf les soirs où il faut absolument que je couche dans un parc pour ne pas déranger personne. Et parce que ça m'aide à me concentrer sur les fous rires qui jaillissent de partout. En ville, les femmes rient sans qu'on ne voie les clôtures dans leur respiration. Et comme ça, je peux souvent toucher à leur fourrure avant de m'endormir. Ce matin, au réveil, j'étais comme moi-même, à nouveau. Je ne comprends pas pourquoi je suis moi-même sans avertissement. Comme si depuis que je dors au château, vivre dans la langue étrangère m'avait concassé l'identité. Ce matin, en me levant ce matin, j'ai vraiment eu l'impression d'avoir réintégré mes gestes, ma respiration, mes soucis vrais et anciens. L'automne arrive. C'est ici. Il vient, c'est certain. Je vais avoir froid et confondre mes personnages entre les lignes, le nombre des croquis, les malins plaisirs, la peur et les personnes que j'appelle souvent « nous ». Il faudra que j'apprenne à rester en suspens au-dessus de mes croquis, à fermer les yeux avant de plonger dans le noir. Quand le noir arrive, grand crayon marqueur de nuit au milieu des planètes, je vois bien que la nuit change sans arrêt la couleur de son jet et que c'est propice à la peur et au tournoiement des mots dans ma bouche quand quelqu'un me parle au jeu avec sincérité. Je respire mal, comme s'il y avait une fine poussière de silence et de cosmos qui déversait en moi une force cannibale, capable d'avaler mes propres rêves, mes yeux fictifs, qui me font si souvent mal, me diront si c'est beau ou ridicule de se laisser emporter ainsi dans l'univers avec ses chagrins. Il me faudrait des miroirs, comme dans les chambres d'hôtel, pour observer tout ça qui bouge, par exemple, le silence, qui fait des allers-retours d'un mur à l'autre, au-dessus de ma tête, avant de plonger vers moi, pour que mes yeux s'adoucissent. Oui, il me faudrait d'autres miroirs pour affronter mes personnages. La langue étrangère efface mes points de repère. Je n'arrive plus à décrire, à nommer le lac et la ville tout au fond en moi, l'horizon s'en va. On dit cela aussi, des lignes de la main. Oui, on dirait bien que tout mon corps disparaît quand je lis les titres des journaux qui traînent sur le comptoir de la boutique. Le monde en moi se complique au fur et à mesure que j'avance dans le montage des images. Ça oui, je perds mes points de repère. C'est difficile. Je nous imagine si souvent allant vers la nuit. Se parler à soi-même ne fait pas de mal à personne. Et beaucoup de gens dans les hôtels le font, tout naturellement. Se parler à soi-même n'est pas faire semblant de parler à quelqu'un qu'on a sur la conscience ou à qui il faut répéter des insultes et des mots doux selon notre enfance et les saisons. Il faut beaucoup de liberté pour se parler à soi-même du monde dans lequel on vit. La liberté est enfouie. Je ne la distingue plus sous les milliers de pages de lois qui ont poussé depuis que l'acier des fusils tire un peu partout aux frontières du réel. On ne change pas une loi sans qu'une autre loi ne nous en donne la permission. J'aime parler seule, devant les grands miroirs qui décorent les chambres d'hôtel. Ça m'aide à jongler avec les différentes facettes de mon corps et les objets qui décorent la chambre. Je suis quelqu'un qui a facilement des gestes de frayeur. C'est ainsi. Quand je passe 3 fois devant la même fenêtre qui fait des gros plans sur la vraie vie des gens, c'est comme si je parlais à haute voix à ma partie invisible pour ne pas avoir peur et pour qu'elle me donne de la joie. Qu'est-ce qui me fait croire dans la tête que je suis quelqu'un d'autre qui ne peut pas vraiment me ressembler? Ou peut-être le contraire. C'est effrayant. Ou peut-être le contraire. C'est encore effrayant. Ce tapis de mots, le rouleau des images, et rien pour expliquer si on est là, si on fait semblant d'être là, si on est avec quelqu'un en soi qu'on aime ou qui nous fend la tête en deux pour que nos pensées se disséminent au loin jusque dans le cosmos et qu'enfin on puisse pleurer, tout bien vidé de sa respiration. Parfois, j'interroge ma mère mortelle, qui ne devrait pourtant pas l'être, avec des mots permis dans la langue étrangère. D'où vient ce goût d'immortalité qui se complique toujours, une fois sa mère morte, une fois qu'on l'a frottée et frottée contre soi avec des huiles douces et des silences voluptueux qui s'ouvrent toujours sur le même paysage, avec un lac au milieu, dont la profondeur est si inconcevable qu'il faut se répéter qu'on n'a pas rêvé, se dire qu'on a vraiment été mis au monde par une femme et qu'il va falloir prendre son temps pour comprendre tout cela et ne plus penser aux clôtures dans la respiration. Restez vivant, dit la voix, s'applique aussi à toutes les filles. Qui que vous soyez, restez vivants à cause du vent lisse dans les roses et dans vos délires restez vivant. Montrez-vous avec vos syllabes et vos images. N'ayez pas peur de toucher à votre mélancolie. Restez vivant malgré les mouches et les brûlures, les petites décorations, les armoires fermées de chacun. Restez vivant, les bras ouverts, comme les pages d'un dictionnaire. Respirez haut et fort entre les signes, les miroirs, les petits croquis. N'oubliez pas votre gris-gris et la grammaire latine. Restez vivant malgré votre mère dans son bain. Restez vivant malgré les terroristes et les menteurs. Restez vivant dans l'axe de la lune et touchez donc à vos miroirs aux bons endroits. Avant de vous regarder partir, restez vivant comme quelqu'un qui n'est pas vous. Merci. Merci beaucoup.
A Montreal writer, poet, performer, Kaie Kellough has been an active member of the literary scene since his arrival from Calgary in 1998. He has been featured on Bravo, CBC Radio, and has given performances in Montreal,
Ottawa,
Toronto,
Halifax,
New York,
and Thunder Bay.
in fact, all across Canada and south of the border. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Kaie Kellough.
Kellough.
It's nice to be here with you. This is, I guess, the last performance of the evening, so definitely I would have to say thank you, everybody, for lending all the performers and artists your ears and being such a good audience. That's okay, you don't have to applaud. Just let me fix the mic here. Yeah, thank you. All right. I might be a little hoarse. My voice is a little hoarse today. I did this morning two poetry workshops at a high school called James Ling High School, which, for those of you who are familiar with it, it has kind of a reputation as being something of a tough school, a rough school. But students have a difficult time there. But I kept asking myself, well, why would students have such a rough time at this place? I mean, it's you go to the school. It's right at the edge of the St. Henry district. There's an overpass soaring up over it on one side. There's a plastics recycling plant on the other side. There's a vacant lot in front of it and two condemned buildings adjacent to it. I mean, there's nowhere for the students to go but class. So you would think that they would do exceptionally well at a school like that. Seems like an ideal place to send kids, to get them to go to class, but in any case, so if I am a little hoarse, please forgive me for that. Babylon boasts backs of bosses, Birmingham's burning buildings as beacons. Beelzebub's boss boasts big brother. Babylon's bandits bomb Baghdad, blast Beirut, blight brains with BET, bruise being. Babylon blights Baracas, Baldwin's, Bob Kaufman's, Bud Powell's, Asbob's, Beatific, Brass Blair's, Bleak Blues. Babylon botches beauty, births bells in brothels, Baden's, brains, bud bands, badness. Belches bullets into black burrows. Babylon berserks, bovines berserks. Beat it you till it burns, as buzzcut bastards in blue. Black Jack brothers bust beat necks, bud blown brains. Babylon bloats, bondage in boats, bellies, big business. Bloats beggars with booze, boys with bile blogs, with berserk banter. Babylon births bastard brunt bearers, bandits, bushes, births bold bamboozlers. Babylon blathers bout bounty bitches, buzzed birches, burners, bout bombastic bling, but bliss blooms amid the battle, balm beckons in Babylon. Yeah, you know, I always forget. I tell myself, man, when you go up on stage, bring a little crystal highball glass and pour your water in there, because the water bottle is it's like an athletic device. You expect an athlete to use it, you know. After you do a poem, you pour it over your head, but it kind of lacks the elegance that you would expect with you know, being on stage, I guess. This next poem is kind of, for me, I guess, a bit of a position paper on Black Canadian history and identity, because I guess I come from on one side of my family, South American background, on the other Irish Canadian. Thank you. You can't say to blacks today, if history were real estate, you wouldn't own one stolen Canadian acre. We who slaved with the Pawnee, bit frost in Preston, broke and seeded frozen Scotian ground. You can't say to blacks today, the nation's heart don't beat or box beneath your sternum. We seemed by faults the Coquihalla, the 401, feel a nation's muscled pulse in black asphalt, a Canadiana sweet, a diasporan, Irishan. You can't caution blacks today to behave or be deported. Whose caustic grandfathers portered, whose maroon ancestors expelled from Jamaica's blue mountains to Scovanosha, were spelled back to far back to the black man land. You can't blame blacks today, you sow violence and woe in T.O. Well, Smith and Wesson ain't headquartered on Vaughan and Oakwood, no. The Metro Popo ain't no cardinal official in blue. You can't castigate blacks today when pale prairie studs get mailed back from Iraq in caskets wrapped in flags and newsprint flack. You can't balk when peckerwoods endear one another as nigger headphones married to the boom boom bap seeding rap in both airs, or when cornrows kink, 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 kink. Your daughter's heirs, we are, have been, will be, HEAR, R. This next poem is, I've always been fascinated with the Harlem of the 1920s. It was a very, dynamic period in American history, but there was also a lot of art and literature, music, dance being produced and coming out of Harlem, and a lot of great artists came out of Harlem. And so this is kind of situated in that kind of imagery. When I get to heaven, I'm a diddy on in. Yes, when I get to heaven, I'm a bop on in. St. Peter best, park my wings. When I push the pearly gates, they'd best swing wide. Yes, when I push the pearly gates, had best a wing wide. And Paul impeccable, maître d' best seat me by stage side. When I said to listen, band best hit hot. When I pat my foot, be that band bop. And Jesus in an apron, best fetch me Roman rocks. I best rest my eyes on seraphim, sepia fine. I best ease my gaze on angels brown as praise, and Josephine Baker, Lord, she best sashay, and swing my loving days. James P. Johnson best tinkle the Charleston, Willie the Lion, cigar smoking best tickle. It don't mean a thing, and Fats Waller best holler. The joint is jumping, and limber up some dancing Lord. When I get to heaven, these whims best be decree. When I get to heaven, each wish best be set free. And all my lonely live long days, oh, best freight each song of praise. Best freight each song of praise. I'm going to end with one short poem. With hexes for eyes, I stare through history at you. With hexes for eyes, I stare through history at you. With hexes for eyes, I stare through history at you. Ghosts hover between our gazes. Residential school, slavers' fields, the lash blinks. These visions blip to Priceville, to Preston, rickety log cabins, windows blinded by jaundiced news that notes no slouch-hatted black pioneer, no royal blue-liveried porter, conch-headed ivory tickler, hipster hustler, black cassocked United Church minister. These go shift to black glyphs, black sparks, black stars, stretch legs and crawl. Spiders shimmer into silver webs, refract. In your face facts, in your face facts, in your face facts. Thank you, and good night, everyone.
Okay, before we see the video, we'd like to wrap up the evening by thanking a number of people. So, merci. Go ahead, Carolyn, it's your turn.
OK. Merci d'être venu en si grand nombre, car ce soir, c'était une belle soirée. Et on aimerait remercier, we'd like to thank our performers. Allez, go.
Tom Konyves. Yes, I got it right.
All right. Vicky, Tansey, and Richard Sommer, Philippe, Muse d'Entremont, and Émilie Girard.
Noah Zacharine.
John Asfour and Bassem Hassan.
Yeah, Nicole Brossard.
And Kaie Kellough.
And the Circus crew.
Vera David.
Michael Toe.
Paul Brian Imperial.
Mike Payette.
Charles-Alexandre Gagnon.
Patrick Hutchinson.
Patty McCurdy.
Catherine Harwood Farkas.
John Fretz.
Elias Manuel Letelier. Our generous patrons,
the League of Canadian Poets and Salla Rosa.
Danielle Jacobic-Biac. Thank you.
Merci.
And good night and bonsoir.
And now the film.
Some things move me. I'm led first by that most wonder-filled organ of my expanded senses, which leads me to wonder, is there anything out there better than what draws me by the nose of it, to stick it up to the root of it, the reeking, swishing meat of it, and I'm licking, and dicking the meat of it, the throbbing meat of it. My eyes are rolling, my nostrils flaring the fire of it. Come on, I can take it on, sinking my teeth into the flesh of it, ripping it, tearing it, of its own flesh of it, shaking it from side to side, chew on it, now gripping it, pawing it, clawing it. Is there anything better than the raw of it, the blood and the juice flowing in the fight of it, the swirling, spinning joy of it, the moaning, the crying, the barely audible whimper and whine of love?